Hey everyone, this is Dave Bennett from website-installer.com, and one of the questions that we had, and we got authentication on the exact answer from Google support, was this, and it's very simple. What's the difference now between a spammy site and an authority site in Google's eyes? And the answer simply is a spammy site just has a few pages and they mainly pitch. Like every page is trying to sell something. So if we're doing accident attorneys and we're doing a 5-pager and one page is got in a motorcycle accident, give us a call. The next page is got in a commercial truck accident, give us a call. Next page is got in a vehicle accident, give us a call. If pages are like that and purely like that, it's just pitching. That's called a spammy website. You cannot be an authority on the topic if all you're doing is trying to sell. What about content? So what Google wants to see is content in the pages. An authority website talks about the topics. Now that's where it used to be hard to create pages like that because they're not trying to sell you anyway. So it seems like a tremendous amount of either effort or cost that you're paying to somebody to create, good content times which topics. I'm going to show you the answer real fast. This is awesome. So we're going to go to a website called AlsoAsked.com. Okay, like when they searched on Google for this, what also did they ask for? And that's really, really important because it talks about the combinations of topics that Google sees as people moving through the traffic internet highway one way or another. And so what it means simply is when you write about one topic, go writing around that topic about the other topics. And I'm going to show you how complete that is and how useful. So let's do a search for, let's say, Roof Max. I'm just going to take some product that's, kind of lesser known, but take a look. This is so interesting. So over here, we have Roof Max. It's our 30,000 foot view looking straight down on the topic, okay? That would be like our homepage. If we were writing, welcome to Roof Max. Here we will cover these things, right? Well, what are we going to cover? What are we talking about on the page? Roof Max is primarily going to talk about stuff like this. What it is, does it really work? How long does it last? Does a seal leak? Does it change the color of your roof? These are important topics, and if you are in Roof Max, you may not even know that people are asking about these things. Does this mean that these are the only 4 topics that should be on the homepage? No, not necessarily, but since like 80% of the people who wind up looking for this thing are searching for something like this, plus this, plus this, plus this. This would be like 80% of the searches added up that lead to this topic, okay? Since probably 20% of the people are searching for this thing, 20% for that, 20% for that, 20% more or less, and then there's going to be some bleed over in there. But exactly. The way to make yourself an authority is to make sure to cover things like this on the web. Now, notice that what that means. If your homepage is going to introduce these topics, then what are these topics going to be? They're going to be more pages. See, if this is the homepage in the menu, it's going to talk about this stuff, plus a little more like what it is and how to get it and give us a call. Sure, that's what the homepage is for. But it is bringing up information. Guess what? These can be pages in the menu now, right? And this page in the menu, what does it talk about, do you guess? Well, these. So this is a page in the menu that talks about these topics. Here's a different page in the menu that talks about these topics. Page that talks about those and page that talks about those. That's neat, isn't it? So we are forming an authoritative website. Each of these pages has the job of not being pitchy. We can also have some pitchy pages, but most of the content on our site should be informational. And then when people are clicking to the right pages, that's where it gets pitchy. So how do we do that? These pages are going to start off by answering the question, so to speak. They'll deal with the topic. And about 85% of the page is about the topic. It can have little inserts for give us a call and stuff like that, little pattern interrupts that can be, hey, contact us if you want this. And it could be AdSense. It can be other things. It can be little deals you want to make her join our newsletter. Yeah, pattern interrupts. But the majority of the page is answering the question on the top 85%. You can have a sidebar. with the important things to keep in mind on the side, no problem. But the main content answers the question. It's very easy to follow through and hop over the pattern interrupts on the way down if you feel like it. What do you think the bottom 15% of the page is for? Top of funnel. See, now that you brought them through this, have a basic blurb down here. That's going to be, we've tested all the kinds of roofing sealants there are, and this is the best. Click here to learn more. Okay? That's your top of funnel. If people decide to engage, then it brings them to your middle of funnel page, where you pick up and say, see the videos below where we compare ourselves with this and compare ourselves with that, compare ourselves with that. And see these other topics where we talk about us versus the other brands, whatever, right? Your middle of funnel is doing middle of funnel stuff, you know, warming people up to the sale, okay? And then your middle of funnel, of course, is going to lead them to the buy now button or the contact us now button or schedule an appointment button or whatever it is. That's your bottom of funnel, right? Where you're going to really just work on the sale at that point, okay? Because you've answered all their questions and you've presented everything and they love it and they're continuing, okay? So anyway, what's the point here? One more point I want to make. See the plus sign by every one of these things? Guess what the plus signs are for? Expansion in that direction. Check this out. Can I do Roof Max myself? I might want to click that, but do you know what? We don't want to talk about that forever on the website. But what else could you talk about? You could talk about what is the longest lasting roof covering. If you want, you can explore and see if you want to talk about that. If you know Roof Max, you would already know which of these topics is worth it. What chemical does Roof Max use? Might want to do that. How long has Roof Max been around? Is roof sealing worth it? You know, and so on. So if I do choose any one of these, okay, let me just do it. What is the best roof sealant? Okay, let me show you what that does. Because now that was a blurb on a bigger page, right? Except we just put that way over here. Which is the best roof sealant? Covers these topics. And then each of these topics can be a page that covers these topics. This can cover that. This can cover that, and so on. I've had somebody say, what if you want to have more than just 4 sections in your main page? Fine, pick some of the biggest items from here and include them in here in the middle, right? You can do that. What's the point? You can keep going. What are the 3 types of sealant? What is better, acrylic or, what is better, acrylic or silicone roof coating? What is the best way to seal a leaking roof, etc., right? And so you can just keep going. Can you put Flex Seal over shingles? I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to hit it anyway. You know why? Just making the point. Whatever your thing is, okay, can turn into this stuff very, very quickly, whether you make one website or multiple websites, whether you talk a lot about your competitors as well as yourself, and then when talking about your competitor products properly, like information base, you can still close all the pages with, we've tried all the options and this one's the best. Click here. And it can go to your product instead of your competitors. Matter of fact, comparing yourself to your competitors, as long as you do the fact checking, is a really good way to go. But many of these breakdowns don't have to do with competitors anyway. If I were to go back and do just a whole big topic over like accident attorneys, Denver roofers, fitness program techniques and tips and tricks, reasons, ways to inspire yourself to get started with, Now, what's the other point? Not only are you appeasing the search engine gods by turning your site into an authority site by dealing holistically with the topics, but every page you add to your website is going to bring some more visitors per month. See, people are coming in through any of this stuff. And the more longer tails, so to speak, and it's not really long, it doesn't just go longer. I mean, it's all going to wrap back around in the big universe of how searches are done on the internet. This is all just intermixed searches where people are coming through. But every time you add another page, you're adding more demographics that lead to your sale. You're creating more doorways where you're answering those questions, and then you're pitching your top of funnel for people to consider clicking on and going to your middle of funnel, which is perfectly legitimate. Google doesn't mind what you do at the bottom of the page. They mind what you do at the top of the page, front and center. That's got to be you answering the question. But do you know what? Answering the question is the right way to start the page. Because what their question was, if you start talking about something else, they leave, and that's called a bounce. Okay? But if you start answering their question, you hold their attention. Every page you add to your website that tends to hold attention makes your website dramatically stronger in Google's eyes. More authoritative is one thing, and people are sticking on the pages longer, so they're interested more than with your competitors who do not write about all these tiny things and more and deeper. Okay? And you can do it. And so how long does it take to write each page? Well, I can go to RoofMax. I can pick up one of these roofing websites. It's not ready yet. The images are not RoofMax images. I'll get them changed when I'm done. Right now, I'm going to create the contents, though. I can go into the back end and I can make a web page, and I can make it about RoofMax. And I can put the keywords, something like rejuvenation, like for roof rejuvenation. And I want some subtitles, and I'll give it however many words per title, and I'll say next. Now, guess what? You know what? The engine that we use here about all of this stuff is pretty much a replacement for even needing to use AlsoAsked at all. You don't need to use AlsoAsked. You don't need to, because it's not going to generate questions, but it's going to generate topics. And so I can go through all of this stuff any which way I headed. I could say RoofMax rejuvenation. I could do other things in here to make the point clear. I can hit next, get a bunch of these topics. I can hit proceed. I can create a page. Then I can come back and take any of these particular topics, right? And I can actually put it here, add a keyword, and make a page about that. So if I keep my list, right, which will be easy to do, then I can go through and keep expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding on the topics. Does that make sense? So I can make pages about any and everything I want. And if I want to get more specific, I can do it, about, let me try this, about us, right? And let me just try 3 for a minute. I'm going to scroll down and look for that stuff to show up down here. Expert roofers, quality solutions, exceptional service. What if I want to create some more? I might say how it works, okay? Another 3. In other words, I can keep developing out my contents. Environmental friendly benefits, cost-effective treatment, non-invasive installation. Reality check is I'm not going to make all of this one web page. I might say, okay, that's, let me see, instant renewed, okay. Insta roof rejuvenation, superior roof protection. Okay, those 2 I want to keep. Renewed roof performance, I want to keep. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it right there. Then I'm going to turn off some of these. And I'll keep the rest, right? I need that. And then I'll keep the rest of these. And that way, I'll generate this cool home page, right? Proceed. And within like a minute and a half, it's going to be written on the website. And then I can go make a page for each of these, which takes like a minute and a half. So it's my point. This whole AlsoAsked thing, where I do this, okay? When I am doing this, the whole AlsoAsked thing is like adding, who knows, maybe I'm adding 3 or 4 more visitors a week, by creating each page. A week or a month, I don't care. The point is, it takes me a minute and a half or a minute to do each of these. Say it takes 2 minutes per page. Well, that's 30 pages I can make per hour. So in 1 hour, I could pretty much guarantee 30 times 3 or 4, like 90 to 120 visitors a month coming organically through longer tail searches, which means they're going to be more ripe to buy. And yet this website is an authority on these topics. So Google's going to foster these things up. The bigger I get, the more Google says you're succeeding in becoming an authority site compared to your competitors who've been writing about this stuff. Your competitor has 200 pages on it, on his site that, of which 180 are informational, 20 are pitchy. Do it too. And you're doing it on better websites because Website Installer, all these templates pass HTML validation. They all do HTTP handshaking, which is called HTTP2. They all pass GT metrics scores for structure and performance with flying colors. They're all on Amazon cloud servers. They all use minified coding. They all use second-gen imagery when we put images in for you. And not just that, but when you get your work done with the contents and you have your pages of content and they're live on the menu, you wrote them all, come to customer support, okay, and add a ticket, okay? And your ticket's going to be about pages, and it's going to be about, hi, please create the images for these new pages on my website. Save. And guess what? We'll just do it for you for free. We will create the images on those pages for you. So all of these images that were wrong, we'll see what the topic is that you're doing now and change them to fit. But they will be unique second-gen images for you. These things will be replaced with images for you. These will be replaced with images for you. All of this is done for free when you're on the subscription and you're inside the system. How's that for amazing? Okay? That means no matter how many pages you're creating up in here, just ask us. And as we get time, it'll be a day or two, we'll go through and just update all those images for you. How's that? So you can keep going. You can keep adding more contents for more purposes. Just keep drilling into it and build it up and make it a powerful authority website. For those of you that want us to do these projects for you, we have project levels at $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, and $15,000, where we do up to 100 websites perfectly for you. They're based on this structure, and you wind up with so many that your competitors can't compete. If you do one website, they can kind of work their way up and around you on the front page because Google can only put you once on the front page. But if you have 100 websites and they're all hot, Google's seeing them as from here, here, and here. They don't even look like they came from the same source. But what Google says is that deserves to be on the front page, that deserves to be on the front page. And so you can have up to 10 results on the front page for thousands of keywords. Wherever you can't get 10, you get 9. Wherever you can't get 9, you get 8. Wherever you can't get 8, you get 7. But that just happens naturally as we put out the smorgasbord and offer it to Google, and Google picks and chooses what it likes and just fits it in. The cool thing about all this is that it's cheap. You might think cheap until you do the math. If one website costs you $1 a day, how much are you paying for a year? $365 for the one website, right? And your competitors are working their way around it because Google has to put 10 results on the front page and you're only one of them. So you will always be fighting with your competitors. But that means your one website is competing with 9 other ones on the front page, right? Your chances of getting any ROI is like 10% already of all the power that comes through that one page, right? Because your chance of getting picked is 1 in 10, okay? Now, having said that, what happens if you have 100 websites for $15,000? Even if you're making payments on it by the month for a year, $12.50 a month for a year. What's that mean? That means 100 websites that cost $15,000 is only $150 per website, not $365. And those websites can be all the results on the front page. So you already have 10 times the ROI possibility coming off that page, up to 10 times. But even just 2 means double your ROI. 3 means triple. It's the difference between making $15K, $30K, or $45K, or $150K in the same period of time. Okay? And that's keyword by keyword by keyword, right? It's absolutely amazing. So if you go out like this, which we can do for you if you want us to do it for you, then we just keep adding the pages for you. As a matter of fact, our next step is going to be to create structured releases. Here's the coolest thing about our system. It's not just creating the pages. Our pages monitor themselves and rearrange themselves to increase the ROI for you on a page-by-page basis. Each page optimizing itself to improve your ROI. I've covered that in other videos. I will cover that in other videos. If you got questions about that, give me a call. And the whole thing is also something where you can peer in and see what people are doing on every page you create. That way you can make sure they're having a great time. When you put on new pages, you want to watch the first few guys go through the pages. And the way we show it to you is so clean and clear. It's like you're seeing a screen recording of them on your screen, which is amazing. It's every marketer's dream that you could sneak in their house invisible and unseen, unheard, like you're, with the ghost of Christmas present. And you could just peer over their shoulder and totally watch what they're doing, okay? Which is totally legal. We're actually using a third-party plugin because we were going to build it. Then we found, of course, there are many other people that offer this. Some are awesome, and so we integrated one into our websites that we chose because we really love it. So here's the point. Within seconds of anyone's visit to your website, you can go and just see how their journey went. So it's not just that you know that they landed on a page and you have no idea how long they were there, which is typical visitor tracking. You see that this IP address in this city landed on that page. And that's it. That's all you see. Were they there 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 minutes? You don't have any idea. That's normal visitor tracking. But now you can log in and you can physically watch what they did after they landed on the page. You were actually time traveling back to the beginning of when they landed on the page and then watching them go through to the point where they left. And you can see everything they did. So if they clicked a link and it was broken, right, we can fix it right away. They would never tell us. They would just leave the site and go check someone else's site out. So it's up to us to see what happened, right? If they started to fill out the form and then thought, nah, and didn't, the question is, why not? Maybe we should open a better question. Maybe they were kind of like nervous about asking. So we should say, hey, ask us anything. We're happy to help. That way we can encourage them to ask, right? If they saw something bolded on the page and they're trying to click it and it won't click and we can see that they're agitated, then maybe we should turn it into a clickable link to another topic, which should be another topic that we can expand upon and get more people in, stuff like that. So by watching how people act, I saw somebody go through a process and didn't use all the required fields. And so the result they got was broken. And so I went back and told the programmers, make that a required field. They can't continue till they get that and make sure they see that they need to do that if they accidentally are bypassing it. Do you realize how cool that is? So you can basically guarantee the earnings of anyone if you build a website the way Google wants, which is this structure, which we already built into these websites with the way that we do this, okay? The fact that we build it this way, and when you create pages with keywords, you ask for subtitles, and then you branch and branch and branch is what Google wants. So answer the question, top of funnel, that goes to your middle of funnel page. All those pages go to the one middle of funnel page. You're going to put all of them in your funnel to that middle of funnel, and that will do the job to the bottom of funnel, right? But the fact that we can create the contents and see how people react to it, right? And then let the website, as soon as we're content that we fixed anything, broken links, made another page, let the websites work from there to arrange the pages into the right order to match Google heat maps. Where Google sees people spending time on the page, the websites will get them to spend the time in the right places on the page. That's what Google wants to see, that people hover around the video area. They are around the forums some of the time. They're around the newsletter section some of the time. And any other things that are truly important, like some of the content is really interesting and people are reading it. Okay? When you get Google heat maps to show that people are in the right place of your pages, you're a better authority. Now, normally, people would have to split test. Create a copy of the page. It's got testimonials, content, testimonials, content, testimonials. And then another one, just put content, then the testimonial. Another one, put the testimonials, then the content. See what works best. Make a longer page, make a shorter page. Do the math. And then do a bunch of new tests once you get the answer to that to see if you can dial it in even better. That's insane. How much money and how many months does that take to get answers? We erase it. Our web pages just naturally make logical changes based on what the people are doing, and it's checking in real time. It also means no need to hire a monitoring crew to monitor the performance and send you reports. It also means you don't have to take the reports and give them to a technician and ask them to make the recommended changes to see whether that'll work. So we erase all those costs, and yet your websites constantly improve themselves for better and better results. How's that for nuts? That's what we got for you. That's what every single website at Website-Installer is capable of doing. Every one of them. Okay? Every website template that we have does that. And they all have the integrations for everything. They all have the same power. They're all incredibly powerful. They all have the same caliber and quality of build, so that Google's already going to be happy with that. But even beyond that, we incorporated customer support in all of them. So when you get the contents ready on your pages, you can ask for help with images. If you get a YouTube video and you don't know how to embed it, ask us. We'll embed it for you. Just tell us the link. Piece of cake. If you get a code snippet and you say, I just want on that one page, we'll do it for you. If you're like, I need it on all the pages of the website and the footer, we'll do that for you if you don't know how. I mean, it's really easy to work anything in this back panel once you get used to it. It's a piece of cake. We even have the videos for how to do all that right here. Okay? But if you do have questions, we've got your back. There should be no reason that you should find this at all troublesome. Okay? And if you just want to know how to do it, ask in the support ticket. Say, where do I go so I can do it so I learn how? And we'll just walk you through it. Okay? Sometimes the programmers will even create a simple little recording, video recording, and send it to you so that you can just watch it and see what to do. Okay? Very cool. All right. Hope you find that interesting. Can't wait to see you get in. And if you got any questions over bigger projects, some guys get a hold of me and say, what would it take to get 10 websites going for this? Or what if I have one guy today, he has 9 appliances for appliance repair, and he wants to build pages for that. For 14 locations. I see it this way. We should create 9 websites, one for each appliance type, okay, and focus on the repair of that kind of appliance. And the homepage will be for the different locations, the 14. And then those will link to those location pages, which will pitch the repairs, for each of those locations. And then in the sidebar, we're going to have links to the other kind of repairs, appliance repairs, in case you also have another kind of a broken appliance or know someone else who does. And then that way we've got some interconnectivity there, which is great for showing support. And each of the websites covers pages for its own purpose in its own location, which Google loves. What the heck? Absolutely awesome. All right. Hope you find this interesting. Give me a call if you got questions. You can call me right here, this phone number right here. Okay. And other than that, can't wait to see you on the inside.